So the Consumer Duty has been in development now for more than 5 years. So starting in 2017, when the FCA set out their intention to become more transparent and accountable for the way in which they carry out their role and ultimately protect financial markets. The FCA have a principle for business known as treating customers fairly, and this requires firms to ensure they treat all of their customers fairly, including those that don't have direct contact with retail customers, and exercise extra care where customers may be vulnerable. So consumers, businesses and regulators, this was a really challenging balance to strike. And because of this, some stakeholders voiced concerns that the regulatory framework, including the principles, may not be sufficient or applied effectively to prevent harm to consumers and to protect them appropriately. Others felt that the introduction of a duty of care could reduce harm by requiring firms to avoid conflicts of interest, as well as supporting longer-term cultural changes within firms. So the TCF principle and the outcomes were introduced in 2007 by the then FSA, and these were more inward-looking, so it's really down to the business to determine whether they felt they were treating customers fairly and then report on that. Whereas the new duty will be more outward looking, so be looking at customer behaviour and customers' interactions and actions in general as to indicate whether they feel that they're being treated fairly. So it's down to the customer really to dictate and answer that question, and for businesses to monitor and look at all of the available insight to identify these behaviours and buy-in habits, and then look to assess as to whether they believe the customers have been treated fairly and evidence their rationale for that. And if they find that they need to make changes, that those changes are subsequently made. So the new duty should really be acting as a moral compass for the industry and firms, with a higher level of responsibility and conduct requirements to do the right thing. So the Consumer Duty started as a discussion paper back in 2018, and there's been a number of interactions and updates during the last few years, culminating in the final guidance being issued in July last year. So we had a 12-month implementation period for the first phase regarding open products and services, and then an additional 12 months to take us to July of next year for the second phase, which is around closed products and services. So the new duty is made up of an overarching principle, and it'll have 3 rules and 4 outcomes that firms will have to follow and adhere to. It should mean consumers are provided with communications that they can understand, products and services that meet their needs and offer fair value, and the customers get the support when they need it and the right support at all times. So the new duty will also support the FCA's transformation to become a more assertive and data-led regulator. So firms need to assess how they're meeting customers' needs, and the FCA will then use this to identify practices that they don't deliver the right outcomes for consumers, and they will also then take action before practices become entrenched in the market norms and avoid future mis-selling scandals and future rework that the business have to put right. So Sheldon Mills, who's the Executive Director of Consumers and Competitions, recently said, "The current economic climate's making it more important than ever that consumers are able to make good financial decisions. The industry needs to give people the support and information they need, and businesses really do need to put their customers first." So the Consumer Duty will lead to a major shift in financial services and promote competition and growth based on higher standards. So the duty should be raising the bar for all firms that are regulated, prevent some harm from happening, and make it easier for the regulator to act quickly and assertively as they spot new problems. So they're hoping that the new duty will require firms to end rip-off charges and fees, Make it as easy to switch and cancel products as it was to buy them. Provide helpful and accessible customer support, not making people wait so long for an answer that they give up. Provide timely and clear information that people can understand, and not burying information in lengthy terms and conditions that few people have the time to read or understand. And focus on the real and diverse needs for their customers, including those that are in vulnerable circumstances at every stage and in every interaction they have with the firm.
Consumer duty has been an all-consuming term these last 12 months or so, and we've been working hard, you've been working hard, and as a business we've had clear focus and commitment at meeting the obligations and ensuring that we are compliant for our customers and delivering the best outcomes always. What we've realised though through this process is that we were already meeting the vast majority of what is being asked for, and so for us a large part of what we've needed to do practically has been to update documentation and processes to reflect the duty. And so, if like Hodge, you've already been putting customers first and ensuring that they have the best outcomes, hopefully you will have found this to be the case too. Consumer duty shouldn't be something to fear, but rather something to embrace. Those of us who are old enough to remember the lead up to the millennium will also remember the chaos of the anticipated Y2K problem. You will also remember that despite the frenzy to prepare and to be ready, the reality was, because of all the prep work that was done in the lead up, everything was okay in the end.
What are Hodge doing to support brokers in their consumer duty obligations? The consumer duty framework is all about providing fairer, more customer-focused outcomes, and we recognise that for many of you advisors, this is already the way that you support your customers, and consumer duty will simply complement that. And we as lenders and you as advisors need to support customers to ensure they receive products and services that meet their needs and are fit for purpose. So at Hodge, we're committed to offering products that provide fair value, as well as providing customers with the support when they need it. Poor quality advice can create significant harm to customers, especially those who are vulnerable. Knowing the best products to fit your clients' needs is only possible if you understand the products that are available to you. We want to make it easy for you to get the information you need to meet these obligations. So on our website, we've got a dedicated Consumer Duty Hub page where you can find a wealth of information. To make it easy to navigate, though, we've taken each of the 4 key consumer outcomes in turn. So price and fair value. Firms are required to ensure consumers receive fair value. So you can be confident our products achieve these standards. We've created fair value assessment documents for all of our products, which can be downloaded. Products and services. Firms must design products and services that meet the needs and objectives of the consumers in its target market. Our product intention guide will give you details of our retail mortgages and the types of customer each product is designed to support. Consumer understanding. Firms are now encouraged to collect new types of information and data to improve consumer understanding, and we're working really hard to redefine what good looks like to ensure customers are communicated to in a way that they understand at every stage of the product and service life cycle. Consumer support. Firms need to meet diverse consumer needs, and this is an ever-evolving aspect. We're improving provisions for all our customers and making important updates where needed so you can receive the appropriate help when needed. We've also reviewed things like our product governance framework that underpins documents and processes. And these sit alongside our recent process improvements, such as our changes to our product lifecycle management for vulnerable customers. So what's next for Hodge? So we will ensure the hub is continuously updated as consumer duty is embedded and evolves. And we'll keep you up to date with the changes and enhancements we've made to ensure that we continue to support your customers and advisors, enabling you to achieve good customer outcomes. The 31st of July is the implementation deadline for closed products or services. Closed products are those products which are no longer marketed or distributed to retail customers. So at Hodge, we'll be updating the consumer duty page on all of our closed products within the near future.
The regulator is intending to complete a post-implementation review later on this year to understand how firms have implemented the duty. So we will find out more regulatory information and the impact over the coming months, as well as remedial actions and expectations that the regulator expects firms to reflect, digest, and then importantly, apply this against their business and their business processes and make the necessary changes. We'll also start later on this year receiving output from the Financial Ombudsman Service, who will start applying the consumer duty to new complaints. This won't be applied retrospectively. So consequences for firms not adequately implementing and then subsequently adhering to the new duty are quite far. These will include enforcement, which could be withdrawing a firm's authorisation, prohibiting individuals from carrying out regulated activities, to issuing fines against firms and individuals who they believe breached the rules. Also is reputational damage as a result of regulatory censure, so with information shared on the FCA website, social media, and being picked up as press. Another significant consequence is the impact to customers, resulting in them facing financial harm now or in the future as a result of our actions, which links back to the preventing foreseeable harm rule. Another consequence of not preparing and doing our best as a firm to implement and make necessary changes, which includes having a plan to fix and solve things in the near future, is not keeping pace with the industry and competitors. Firms could find themselves stagnating, not moving forward, or having avoidable operational costs as a result of rework or loss of business revenue as customers and advisors simply take their business elsewhere.